Hello, this is Broyer, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play series. We're going to be trying out Motorsport Manager. Part of the reason why I want to try this one out is because I picked it up a couple weeks back and couldn't stop playing it. So I was like, well, if it's a game I can't stop playing, maybe others will enjoy it as well. So we're going to jump into a new career. We're going to leave tutorials off because I have played it quite a bit, so I don't think I need those. We'll leave the session links at medium for now. We may bump it up to long if the videos don't look like they're going to get too long. We are going to do American dollars just because, and normal American date format, which I know is not the same for the rest of the world, but that's okay. Auto save, that's fine. Alright, let's see. Let's pick out a driver. We're going to go ahead and find North America. We'll go United States. Sure. Date of birth. Well, I don't know. Pick the right year, but I'm not going to pick all the date and stuff. That's not important. Say Broyer, and oh, that's not what I wanted. Go ahead and put first name. And then what am I going to be? Ex-engineer, financial, politico. The ex-driver does get more feedback and driver stat improvement rate, which is really nice to have. Ex-engineer, this one day doesn't sound like a lot up front, but it does actually come into play quite a bit once you really got start getting into part design. Financial payments is actually 5% is quite a bit actually. Voting power, I haven't really messed with the voting power that much. I mean, it's cool, it's nice to have, but I don't know that it's really like, alright, somebody votes the way I don't want to, it's not the end of the world. So, you know what, I think I'm going to go ex-engineer and try that out. Male hairstyle, I think the hairstyle is fine. I think everything else is actually pretty good. So we'll go ahead and continue. And we are actually going to go ahead and do create a new team. We could play with one of the existing teams, but I actually think that creating a new team would be kind of fun. And it would allow us to start from scratch and work our way up through some of the series. So we have two different types of series. We have the what would actually kind of be more of like Formula 1 series, the European, the Super Cup, and the World Motorsport. That's kind of those types of cars. And over here you have the GT series. This is an add-on, a DLC, which I do have, but I think we're going to do the Formula 1 series. We'll start with this, and maybe we'll jump over here later on if we get through a few seasons of the Formula 1 types of cars. Now, these are not officially badged Formula 1 cars, but it's the same thing. Alright, so here we got your car. So team origin and name. So we're going to go ahead and team origin is also the United States, which is fine. Let's see, North America, United States. Logo design. No, I want it to be David Racing. I want it to be Broyer Racing. You know what? I want to fix that. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, there's got to be a place I can fix that. So it's called Broyer Racing. So logo design. Then we're going to pick a nice blue for our logo. That looks pretty good. And then secondary color. I'd like to try the gray, but it doesn't stand out quite as much as I would like. Let's see if we can get that to pop a little bit with a different style or something. That one's actually not too bad. That one's pretty good. I don't know, let's go with something simple, like that one. That looks fine. Team uniform. We'll go primary color the blue as well, and secondary can stick with the gray. That should be fine. Shirt style, I don't know if it really matters. It's not too bad. It's got a collar, it looks kind of nice. Hat style, there's only like one hat, so it doesn't really matter. Sure, whatever. And the livery, which is our you know, car colors and stuff like that. So the primary color, we are going to go ahead and, again, stick with blue. We'll keep a theme going. Secondary color, we'll go ahead and go back with this gray. Tertiary color, let's go black tertiary and then trim with white. See how that looks. So it actually looks starting to look pretty good. Sponsors, that could probably be the white and the black. All right, do we want to do the gray or the white? Oh, we definitely want to do the white because it's going to pop a little bit better. And we'll keep leaving it black. That's fine. Alright, so which of these? We actually have a livery pack here, which is another DLC that we can get some other cool looking cars. There's a few decent ones. That one's pretty cool, but let's just stick with one of the base ones for this first outing. It's very white. Wow. I don't know if I want that much white. Maybe I need to change that up. Actually, you know what? That one's not too bad. We'll go with that, I think. And we can change it up later. Once we finish the first season, we'll get another chance at it for every future season. So, cool. Continue. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright, so here's where we get to pick our investment offers. The pressure changes based on which one you go for. And so, yeah, I don't know. This one right here, the route, low pressure. It's just not a whole lot of money, though. And it does give us a 3-star chassis in our first season. Now here's the small problem here. We're not really going to win anything the first season. Just there's no way. We start with basically no modified parts whatsoever. Nothing good at all. So we're just not going to win anything. So wasting this 3-star chassis, as amazing as it would be in our first season, it's just not going to help us that much. So I actually did this with one of my test playthroughs. I went with the Root, and don't get me wrong, it was a nice car, but after thinking about it a bit, even the team markability, we do need the money. So this one is a little bit more, in line with something I would like to go for, but I think I'm going to try the Golden Tiger, because getting this pre-built test track would be pretty awesome. And the test track is, I think it's like $5.5, $6 million or something like that. So I think we're going to try this. We'll see how big the pressure is on this, and go from there. Breuer Racing. There we go. We'll try to make this first video not too long, but it may be a little bit long just because we're trying to get into it and kind of go over a few things, but we'll see how it goes. Truth be told, a lot of these videos for this series might actually be a little bit longer than my normal, but because we're going to try and do one race per, so we'll probably do all the prep stuff all the way up to the first race, run through the first race, and then each time we'll just do all the prep, leading up to a race as the final thing we do in each video. So we do start off with a couple drivers. Mr. Gomez here. Apparently he's ranked 3rd, and Miss Anthony here is ranked 9th. So our drivers are actually not last. I mean, they're 7th. Our car is worst. Our headquarters, because of that test track, is actually not the worst like it normally is. And then we have the worst staff and the worst sponsors. So a lot of things to work on. We'll go ahead and check our mail real quick. This is going to be where a lot of the stuff happens, where you're going to get these mail alerts that tell you, different things you need to do and different targets and things. I'm not going to really read through these, but it's fine. It's just kind of, hey, welcome to the game, stuff like that. So, here's where we get to pick what our target is. And truth be told, anything more than 10th is going to be just not going to happen this first season. This first season is all about doing the right stuff to set us up for a really good second season. And I say really good, maybe 8th, 7th, something like that, potentially, but just really do a lot of cool things. And just accept the fact that we're just not going to do that well. So it doesn't mean less money, but we're going to have to go with the 10th. We have to. We're just not going to have enough, confidence to go for anything higher than that. 10th is the last place. I mean, so there's no way we can go any lower than that. So that's fine. Scouting department. So a few things we need to do to kind of get ready for the stuff going. One thing, very first thing I actually want to do, we do have this test track, which is awesome. Good thing that this test track does for us is it allows us to build better engines, and we'll get a little bit more about what that is in a little bit, but just to know that we can have better engines now. Plus, I believe it improves our driver cornering and our driver overtaking rates goes up a little bit higher, which is pretty awesome. I could upgrade this, but 12 million, yeah, that'd be too much of our money, so we're not going to do that. One thing we will do, though, and if you go look at new buildings, look at some of these buildings. Some of these are 5.5, couple million, 6 million. Some of these buildings are very expensive, but a lot of these buildings do require a factory. And so we have the base level factory, but we don't have the factory level 2. And the factory level 2 will do a bunch of things for us. One, it will obviously unlock a lot of other buildings, but it also unlocks more development staff for our parts, which is going to be very, very key and very, very important. So before we even do anything, we are going to go ahead and upgrade this right away. It takes 20 weeks, so it's going to take most of the season to get this done. So we're really not going to be able to benefit from it much early in the season. It will come in handy later in the season, but definitely want to get that out of the way first with a big chunk of our money. Next thing we need to do is go ahead and get some better mechanics and designers and things. if we go look at our team, we have a really bad designer and a couple of really bad mechanics. These are just the worst of the worst. They're just what you get with to start off with. Even our backup driver is just not that good. Our main driver, Gomez here, he's pretty good, but he's also only 22 years old, so he's going to have a lot of improvement ahead of him. Miss Faith Anthony here is decent. She's pretty solid all around, but she does not have, she's already 34 years old, so she's not going to improve that much. So we do have to kind of take that into account. So one thing we do need to do is get us a better designer. So we're going to jump in here and we're going to go scout out a better designer. Probably the best thing we can do is find us a designer that is not on a team, but it's pretty high rating. So we're going to go ahead and pick you. And I guess we'll go ahead and, let's see, do we want to go with you? Let's see, we got build time minus 1 day. That's pretty nice. Build time minus 2 days, cost 500,000. So we can take off a couple of days on the build times. Very, very good on the engine, the front wings, suspension, gear wing, and rear wing and brakes. Not so great on the gearbox, which is fine. Now, one thing, because we are playing in the lowest level, the front wing and the rear wing are going to be spec parts, so we're not going to be able to update those. So having like amazing stats in those, not really going to help us that much. So how about we go back and see what this guy does. In fact, we can go ahead and hover over you when we start. Suspension and brakes is really good. Engine and gearbox is not as much. Engine's really good here. Rear wing is amazing. Again, we don't really need the rear wing. We can dig into some of their bonus stuff, like some of these things a little bit. Unlocks an additional good component slot. Well, that sounds really nice. Front wing is terrible. Rear wing is amazing, which again, we don't care about this one. Engine's really good. Still, that gearbox is pretty rough. We are going to want to build out a gearbox at some point. So, I don't know. I do like this guy. I like that bonus. That's pretty awesome. You know what? Let's check you real quick. I didn't check your bonuses. Okay, your bonuses are up in the Great and Epic, which we're probably not going to get into too much. Yours are there and there. So, I'm kind of leaning towards this guy. You know what? We're going to go ahead and... Can we favorite you? Let's go ahead and favorite you just for a second. We'll come back to you in just one moment. Let's go scan through just a little bit more. Wayne Bellows. Okay, this is a little bit more what we're looking for. Not so great on the rear and front wing, which is fine. Unfortunately, his bonus is way up in the Epic. So we're going to go ahead and favorite him. He's a good backup if the other guy doesn't work out. But you're terrible on the engine. You're terrible on the suspension, but great on everything else, which we could potentially get by. You have 3 bonuses, which is pretty nice. But, I mean, I don't know. Don't know if we want to go with that. Especially if we want somebody who's going to stick around for a while. And Owenville, legendary. Wow. Yeah, having less risk on the legendary parts would be pretty awesome. Ian Brown. I'm not going to jump into these too much. I'm probably just going to take one of those other guys, or at least try and talk to one of those other guys. Katie Paulson. Actually, not too bad. Again, front wing, rear wing, who cares? Takes no time to build. Good components take... Okay, that's cool. Less risk level. You know, we're going to favorite you as well. We'll see if we can approach you. And we may have to approach a couple different people just to get somebody to respond to us. We're starting to get into some really bad ones now. So let's take these favorites. Let's approach them from the top down. I think we'll start with you. I like this build time +5. Even though it's +5, getting an additional good component slot is pretty awesome. So we're going to approach you. It looks like you are interested. Alright, wages are fairly important to you. Well, you're currently unemployed, so there's not much that's going to help. He'd prefer a long contract, so we'll go with the long contract. He'd like a nice sign-on bonus. So, I don't know, what's the highest? 600? Let's get you, get you right up down the middle. Bonus size isn't very important. We're not even going to offer a bonus size. If it's not very important at all, that's fine. Wages are fairly important to you. So, let's see, what's the max? About 146. Let's go about halfway. We'll go about 68. Let's try that. We do have a few strikes that we can potentially have him come back to us, offer us some alternative, you know, measures. They like, okay, you know, the sign-on bonus is perfect, but the other ones aren't so good. So we'll start with that. And let's go ahead and approach Wayne as well. He is interested. Bonus size is important. He would like a nice sign bonus, so we're going to go ahead and do you the 300 as well. Wages are fairly important. We'll do this. Oh, do 61 for you, and he prefers a long contract. Let's try that. He'd be a little bit cheaper than the other guy, but he's a little bit not quite as good, so that should be fine. And then last but not least, we'll go ahead and send to Katie as well. Wages are fairly important. Again, we're going to kind of keep you around that 60,000 for his long contract. Likes a nice sign-on bonus, so we'll give you 300. And everything else, oh, actually 300 is max. We'll give you 150. I should have checked the other guy. Maybe his max was lower as well. That's all right. Bonus size isn't very important. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and approach you, and we'll get those. In a few days, we'll get an email back from each of them telling us, you know, whether it was good, bad, whatever, indifferent. And then we also need to go for race mechanics. So we're going to go scout out some race mechanics. Race mechanics, all. And again, we're going to start with people who are not currently employed. At some point in the game, we will try and steal some people from other teams, but this early first round, we're not going to bother. All right, you are not great on concentration part fixing, but you're pretty good on reliability, pit stops, performance. Chemistry's not too bad. Intermediate tires wear more. Okay, it's all right. I like the risk taker though. You know what, we're gonna favorite you. We may come back to you in just a second. Let's go look at a couple others, just see if there's anybody else who jumps out. Bill Evans. Pit stops is pretty good. The only thing is part fixing. Wow. That's not great at all. You do have soft tires wear more slowly, which is good, and the super overtake mode is also pretty good. It does wear you out pretty bad, which we may not use a lot of that super overtake this first round again because it's not really needed. You're pretty young. You probably will improve quite a bit, even though you're really bad in a lot of ways. Kind of beggars can't be choosers type of thing. We kind of have to take what we can get. You know, let's approach these first two guys and see if we can get something from them. So, Gary, approach. And wages are fairly important, so what's the max we can give you? 49. Let's go about half of that, plus a little bit. Long one, a nice sign-on bonus. Okay, your sign-on bonus would be, it's actually not that much. Go about 15. Bonus size isn't very important, so we're not even going to offer you one. And we'll start with that. And then we'll go for Bill Evans here. He is interested. Actually, I'm assuming he would be because he's not employed currently. Wages are important, so max is 46. Let's get you a bit above middle. That'd be fine. Long contract, that's fine. Nice sign-on bonus. Bonus size is quite important. So we'll give you a bonus, but we're going to say our target is 8th or above. If we get anything 8th or above, that'd be pretty awesome. And we'll give you at 42. 8th or above, I think that's fine. And he does want a nice sign-on bonus. So let's go 30. That's fine. These guys are quite a bit cheaper than the designers, but that's alright. So we're going to start with you, and then, you know, let's find one more. Just to make sure that we have, you know, some potential. You're not great, but I bet you improve quite a bit over time. So, and you have ultra soft. That's, yeah, okay. And faster pit stops have less risk. That's actually pretty solid. So we're going to approach you, start negotiations. Wages aren't very important to you. So, halfway be about 17. We'll give you about 16 then. If you don't care that much, then that's fine. Long contract. Signing on fee isn't very important. Bonus size isn't very important. You know, we're not even going to give you the rest. You know, in fact, for that matter, we'll go ahead and give you just a tiny bit more per race. You actually don't have very much patience as well, so we may only get one shot at her. All right, good. So we're going to start with those. And what else do we want to do? Maybe just about all we can do for now. We probably aren't going to mess with our drivers. Our drivers have 10 months left on the contracts. We're just going to have them for this first run, and then we can start looking at other drivers as we go throughout the season. That is one thing we can do, though, is let's start looking at some very young talent on the drivers. And let's start scouting some people. We'll start with some people who don't currently have any teams, and we'll go from there. We may even look at some people whose contract's ending this year after we finish these three. In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that as well. That's not what I wanted. I want to sort. So 2016. So we'll go ahead and scout out a bunch of you guys. We'll do people that are in our series at least, because probably not going to get somebody dropped down from one of the other series. We'll scout you guys out. 2016, 2016. I'd really like to get some of these young drivers that we can develop. Be really, really solid. We'll give our person quite a bit of time. Okay, that's all the 2016s. That's good. She's got a pretty good back queue, and we'll be good. Anything else I want to do right away? Probably designing a new part right away. So normally through a season where we would look at, like, the next track or the one after that to see what kind of parts are crucial and what we need to go for. Well, we're not really going to do that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to design parts for next year. Again, hopefully it doesn't end up being too boring to do for this first season, but we are very much going to be trying to go for that. And so, on that note, actually, you know what we need to do? We need to wait for we get a star designer. I'm not even going to touch this. It's going to put us a little behind, but hopefully we get to that designer pretty fast, and then we can take in some of their bonuses and things. So we'll hold off. Definitely important to get on this right away. So everything else looks okay. We're going to get some sponsors soon. I'm not too worried about that. So you know what? First, next thing to do is just continue, and let's get us ready for race day and hopefully get some responses back. We do have a contract proposal coming up here in a day. Somebody's retiring, which we could target, but, not that worried about it right now. Let's go back to the negotiating table. So this is Katie Polson. Pretty okay for all the things that we care about. So, she's unhappy with the money offer. So the wages are fairly important. So we're going to bump that up a couple notches. This is our last chance, though. How high would it go? We'll go 72. She likes the long contract. She does want a nice sign-on bonus, which we actually didn't give her enough. Okay. Go 150. Seems like quite a bit more than we had. Bonus size isn't very important. She actually probably would like a little bit of a bonus. We'll go into the 8th or above. You know what? We'll give her quite a bit. If we get 8th or above, we'll give her a decent amount. That's fine. We'll try that. Staff. Okay, everything's good. We're going to go ahead and hit continue. We got an interview requested. We'll go ahead and accept this. It's fine. Well, you certainly picked a tough task for your first job. Are you expecting to pick up any points or many points at all this season? We're going to surprise a few people. I don't think so. I'm quietly confident we'll manage a few decent finishes, but I'm making no promise. Nah. It may hurt us, but I think we'll go with this one. It does hurt us a little bit. Our happiness has gone down a little bit, but at least we're being honest. Andre Gomez is seen by the fans as your top driver. Do you agree with that? Or would you see that Faith Anthony is better? Alright, so this is going to improve the morale of one or the other. Andre Gomez is definitely going to be the better driver in the long run. But I think we'll play a little bit diplomatic right now. Increase the morale for both of them. In the UKSN season preview, I wrote that you're expected to finish 10th in the team's championship. Is that accurate, or do you think you can do any better? You know what? Say it's pretty accurate, but I'm hoping we can surprise you. Didn't really change anything. You've been a legendary engineer in the pit lane for years now. Are you expecting your background to give you any advantages in the pit wall? Well, obviously we'll have greater insight into car development. That's good. I'm hoping the drivers will respect me more given my strength of knowledge. You know what? I'll say that. That made our chairman quite a bit happier. Good, good, good. Contract offer accepted. So this is Astrid. This is one of our mechanics. We have... How many days do we have to accept this? $8 days. So let's see. When are the other guys kind of popping up? Probably here in the next couple days. So we got a little bit of time. So let's hold off. Let's see if we get some of these other ones, because she was the lower of the three that we went after. Contract renegotiation. Okay, we'll renegotiate with you. This is one of our mechanics. So he does want a little bit more wages. We'll bump that up a little bit. He likes the long contract. Bonus size he's happy with. And we'll bump him up a little bit on the signing bonus. This is our last chance though, but hopefully this makes him quite a bit happy. We'll go with that. And then you also want more negotiation. You don't really like that. And you don't really like the sign-on bonus. We'll bump both those up. We will go ahead and give you a bonus. Maybe that'll help swing it as well. Maybe 30,000. We'll basically almost match your yearly salary or your race salary if you get 8th or above. It's not going to be very easy to do. Go with that. Proposal sent. All right, continue. This is one of the designers. Okay. He wants more wages. Wow. Don't know how much more we can give you, Ben. A nice sign-on bonus. Well, we'll give you a little bit, and we'll give you kind of the same deal here. We'll give you half your salary, your base salary, if you get a bonus. These guys are getting pretty expensive. But, I mean, they're going to be pretty solid, and hopefully if we can keep them around for a while, maybe that'll work out pretty well. I'll give you about half as well. Another person trying to retire, report on the upcoming race. It's going to be super soft or softs on the tires, because the track is quite abrasive, which is fine. And again, a little bit of rain, so we'll see how that looks when we get closer. Contract offer accepted. Telemetry center. Oh, this is we're never gonna be able to finish. Sorry, we're never gonna be able to have faster, efficient gear changes if we don't invest in telemetry center. Well, we will get one once we get our factory out of the way. Contract offer accepted. This is Katie Paulson. So let's go look at our staff. So was she the better of the ones we were going for? She's pretty good. Come on, score well. Vasily was a little bit better though. If we can get him to come back, although she probably would be cheaper. Yeah, we're gonna offer him 97,000. Wow. I don't know. We may just take Katie. Let's see. She's got how many days do we have? 10 days. So we got a little bit of time. 3 days on Astrid. Does it show up on the Astrid one? 1, 2. It doesn't actually show up. So we either accept Astrid. We actually won't be able to know if Billy or Gary come back to us before it's time to take Astrid or not. 24 years old. You know what? I think she has a lot of growth potential. She's actually going to be quite a bit cheaper than these other guys. So I think we go ahead and take her. Take advantage of one cheap mechanic and then maybe get one of these more expensive ones after that. So Astrid, you're going to come in. These are just default generic mechanics. I mean, honestly, we could keep them for a while, but getting one of these people to come in and kind of start working would be pretty good. Start growing and getting some development. Alright, so we got one. Perfect. And so we snapped her up. Let's see what comes up next. Mr. Billy. So he did accept our contract offer. Oh, this is one of our one of our mechanics. So is Billy the cheaper of the two? He is not, actually. Gary would be a little cheaper. Gary actually has a little bit more potential, it looks like, with the stars. So let's wait to see what Gary says. Looks like Gary will be coming up here in another day. Alright, so it looks like Gary did accept. So let's go check these out. Gary, I think, has a little bit more potential. He's actually going to end up being a little cheaper. So, you know what? Let's go with Gary. And replace this other $1,000 one, which is, again, just a temporary one. A little bit of sign-on bonus, not a problem. We got Gary and Astrid. Cool. We got 5 days left on Katie. Billy, I guess we can retract Billy's offer because we're not going to be taking him. And so we're just waiting on these two to come back to me. And are they going to come back in time within 5 days? It looks like they will. So we'll at least get an initial take on those two within the next 5 days. Right, so we do have a couple sponsors. Do we wait one more day? We're about to travel. It's okay, so this is the notice that we're about to travel. So we'll go ahead and take our sponsors now. So slot 5. So these over here are race bonus sponsors, so that when we pick these, we have to get a certain position in order to get really any bonus. So for that reason, we're not even going to worry about the stuff on the right. We're not going to be good enough this year to go for a specific rank position in a race. Anything that has an upfront bonus, though, upfront payment, we're going to go ahead and take those. Those are going to be fun and nice and easy. Same kind of for over here. These are, we want the upfronts as much as we can, although the difference is that these are fixed payments per race. So this is going to be $350,000 per race for 9 races, which is almost, you know, 3.5 million. Still a bit less, 315, I guess. So we'll go ahead and accept that one. That one's a pretty good one. And then this one is going to give us 200,000 up front, 200,000 per race. So it's basically 2.2 million right there. Go ahead and take that one as well. We don't at least want something for this first race. We could have waited around for a better one, but let's get something for this first race. This first race is going to cost us 1.3 million just to do the race. We're in the hole. We're in the red for races. Sometimes at some point we will get to a point where we actually make money off races. We're not there yet. So we'll go with these two. That's fine. And then I guess we'll go ahead and get on to the race. Part fitting. So this is where I was going to talk about where we don't have anything. Our parts are non-existent at this point. I suppose I could have done a little bit of improvement on these terrible parts, but really we're waiting for that designer to start getting us some parts. In retrospect, I should have, but that's okay. So we got these terrible parts. It doesn't really matter who we put them on at the moment. I mean, these are just beginning, basic. You just started your team. You've got nothing. So the way the parts are going to work, though, is that as we design parts, you know, we'll get some better values here. You know, closer to these spec parts that are 150. We're going to get values, you know, 50, 100, 150, things like that. The good thing is that whatever parts you build this year carry over to next year's car. So whatever your best parts are, carry over. So this year may not be that great, but next year should be good if we can get a bunch of good, really solid parts. So again, we're just going to go ahead and go with this. You know what? We're going to go ahead before I forget. We're going to go ahead and improve a few things. I mean, it'd be cool if we finished a little higher than last place. What's the next race? Acceleration and suspension. So let's go back. So acceleration and suspension. So let's go ahead and improve this a little bit. And let's go ahead and improve that suspension. That suspension is pretty bad. We're going to go ahead and stick this right in the middle, though. It's just improve a little bit of both as you can. We do have our best, you know, mechanics, so this is going to help a little bit. Are these in the right spots, though? Let's see. Obviously, Gary is the better mechanic. I think we're better here. And then, I don't know, let's improve one more thing. I guess these brakes or something. They're already below 70. So let's improve anything below 70. Cool. Continue. Part fitting is done. Continue. Oh, we need to select you, which is fine. I mean, it's possible, I suppose. Very unlikely, though. First race is in Russia. If you fail the ultimatum, you will be fired. Becomes very low, he'll give you an ultimatum in the next race. Huh? I haven't seen that yet, so thankfully I haven't had in any of my test stuff. I haven't had a morale get that low. I would be happy if we finished 16th or higher with any of these races, because there's 20 cars. 16th or higher means we're, you know, that's in the top 8 if you average it out. So top 80%. So that wouldn't be too bad. Okay, so Mr. Reserve Drive over here gives us a little bit better feedback. So we're actually going to use you instead of Faith, just to get us a tiny bit more feedback. All right, so first thing we do is we're going to go out on a practice run. And the practice run is just to really help us tune the car for the driver and the track. I think the driver, at least. Although doing the reserve driver, it usually seems to work out okay for our actual driver when they get in. So one way I like to look at this is, well, we got a couple settings. We got these settings up here, the angle of the wings. We've got the tire pressure, the tire camber, and then the gear ratios and the suspension stiffness. And all these things, you know, adjust different knobs and these lines that are going to go back and forth. And really, we want to get as close to what you know, the driver feels comfortable with given the current track. So one way to I think about this, and it seems like it works pretty well, is I don't know if you've ever familiar with a binary search. A binary search is like if you want to find a number between 1 and 100, you know, you start at 50 and you're like, is it higher or lower than that? Well, if it's higher, well then you go to between 50 and 75. Is it higher and lower than that? You know, things like that. So you're continually shrinking down until you get to where you need to be. We're only going to have a couple shots at finding this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and stick these yellow lines smack dab in the middle. And then we're going to kind of be able to pay attention to the drivers a little bit to see how they like them. And then what we will do is we will move it back one way or the other, and that'll tell us if it got worse or better. If it got worse, well then we know we need to go the other direction. So usually I've been able to get pretty high ratings on these if I do it this way. So hopefully we'll see if that works. Handling, man, you want the handling way up there. Let's try some of the tire stuff. To get a little bit closer to the middle, that should be fine. And then speed balance. You actually want really low on the speed balance. Let's Go right about there. So we're right in the middle of these green lines with the mechanic recommends, and that should be fine. Tire choices. Apparently this track is going to chew up our tires pretty badly. And let's stay on the softs. I have a feeling our people are going to be pretty rough on our tires. We'll start with the softs. That'll be fine. It actually might rain on game day, or game day, race day anyway. So we may even have to switch over to the intermediates. Actually, so tell us. Don't see any rain coming up right now. So, all right, we're gonna do the same thing with you. Go ahead and move you a little bit downforce the other direction. Your handling is about where we want it to be. Speed balance, though, you actually want more top speed. That's interesting. How can we get you some more top speed? There's no way you're going to want this much. It's not actually going to be how you want it, but we'll start there. We'll start you on the softs as well. That should be fine. I mean, the super softs would be good, but we would have to change them more frequently. So we'll try the softs out and go from there. All right, continue. We will take the practice. Let's get a little bit of feedback back. So it looks like about half the field is on soft, half the field is on super softs. We're going to go ahead and pause the game for just a moment. We're going to go ahead and send you out. All the settings should be fine. And let's go ahead and get you out there. You as well. All right, we'll go ahead and unpause, and we're going to go ahead and bump the speed up just to get through this practice session as quickly as possible. Let them go a couple laps, and then we'll bring them in. I think I'm going to go ahead and bump you up to some, a little bit higher pushing, though, just because that's probably what you can do for a lot of the race. So let's just go ahead and make sure you're testing that stuff out. I like these blue cars. They look pretty cool. Getting a little bit of knowledge, getting a little bit more on Gomez, just because he's got a little bit more feedback. He's hitting the limiter. So the arrow feels great on this guy. He's hitting the limiter over here. That's fine. So he wants a little bit more top speed, it looks like. Let's get you a little bit more feedback. Come on. Alright, so we got about medium. So the arrow's wrong. The Haddon feels awesome. So go ahead and bring both of them back in. And see what kind of modifications we can make. Alright, send you out. Alright, so you're not very happy at all. Which is fine. Again, we are going to pick one thing and go the other direction. So the mechanic is trimming it up a little bit. And you said you're hitting the limiter. So I'm guessing you want more up towards here. So we'll go right about there. We'll go a little less. Handling. You know, let's go down this way. And it's very poor, so we're going to go pretty far, I think. Downforce. I'm not sure. We'll go one way. And if it's still very poor, then we'll go the other way. So we've gone a little bit more than halfway just because it's very poor. This one's not quite as, halfway to the next one, but it's also because it says okay. I think we'll go with that. Stint's fine. Tires, you're actually still good on these tires, so go ahead and send you out. Same with you. We're going to send you out. You're actually happy to some degree. You actually think it's good on the downforce. So we're going to try not to change those too much. Okay, I'm guessing the gear ratio was way too high, which is fine. We're going to come down to about there. Handling, I do still want to change, because I'd like to change it a little bit one direction or another, just to see if it makes a difference. Same thing with the downforce. If we can get a little bit of a difference here, then we'll know if we're going towards greats or perfects or anything like that. You're still good on tires? Go ahead and go out. Thankfully, during practice, they can work on both cars at the same time. All right, we're going to go ahead and go back up to the highs again, just to let you guys push the limits of the current strategy. I don't know if it really makes that much difference on practice, but it makes me feel like it does. Getting quite a bit more knowledge out of Gomez here. I think one thing to do is get a backup driver that just has really good knowledge. So he likes the arrow better. He likes the downforce better. That's good. Getting someone who's got a lot of setup knowledge, you know, return, and just using them, even if the actual driver doesn't, we can still get a lot of this extra data in practice. Alright, so you're looking pretty good. We might actually be able to get one more out of you, both of you. Let's bring you both in. Maybe we can get one more tiny stint, just to get a little bit more feedback. It's going to be tight. We may only get like a lap out of both of you after we bring you guys in. Alright, send you out so you actually have a grate. So we went from 51% to 83%. Pretty significant difference. That was very poor. This is now good. That was okay. This is now great. So it does look like the speed balance going up this direction is good. So we're going to bump it up just a tiny bit. See if we can get that perfect. Very poor. Good. Let's go and bump this down a notch. See if we can get towards that great. And then that was very poor, and this is okay. So let's go ahead and see if we can, combination of these two, bump this down a bit. Try that. If it gets worse on any of these, then we know to go back the other direction. Tire choice. You probably fine on a little bit more out of this. And then same for you. Oh, we are got an excellent out of you. Okay, so we got an excellent. We're not even going to touch that one. That one's perfect. Okay, we went from good to okay. So this actually is worse on the handling. So he wants the handling to go the other direction. So that was good. That's okay. So hopefully this will be great. And then we went from poor to great on the speed. So let's go ahead and bump the speed down just a little bit more. And we'll see where we're at there. It's not much. Let's see if we can bump it just a teeny tiny bit more. We'll try that. Everything's good. You're good on the tires. Just go ahead and send you out. See if we can get a little bit more before the end of the practice. Again, don't know if this makes a difference, but it makes me feel better. Even though this first series of races doesn't matter that much, it's still like kind of doing some of this, kind of get some practice. And again, if we place higher, we get more money for next year. So I'm not just going to throw away this season. I'm going to try. But there's a few things we just got to accept that we're just not going to be good at. Matt, we're already up to a high on the setup knowledge over here. It's really nice. Get up to high over here, that'd be pretty awesome. May not, because it looks like they're about to come in. Downforce is good. We only got up to... Did we get up to 3s? Or were we only at 2s on the bonuses we got? As we race with certain things, we get bonuses for... Actually, you know, we weren't last on the timing. Time trials doesn't matter that much in this lower season, lower bracket, if you will, the European Cup. It actually goes based off of reverse order of your placement overall throughout the series. So the very first race, however, goes alphabetical, if I remember correctly. So literally doesn't matter. We don't do qualifying or anything like that. So our objective is 9th or above. We get $450,000 bonus. Maybe. I doubt it. Not with the parts that we have, but we'll see. There is going to be some rain coming up. Oh. Do we start on intermediates? I don't know. That's going to be... That's what, 3 laps in? It's hard to see how much rain it's going to be. And I don't think anybody else is starting on intermediates, so I don't think we can. Alright, so knowledge, these are the bonuses that we got as we were just kind of doing stuff there. So we've only got 2 things of knowledge. At some point we'll get some stuff from our mechanics, but we'll get a little bit better performance out of race trim and those soft tires. And that is fine. But knowing that it is going to be raining, and we're going to have to probably come in for a change, we're probably going to go for these, keep it on these slicks, these super softs, because... I don't care if I burn out the tires. We're going to probably be changing them out pretty quickly anyway. All right, we actually got up to 93%, which is pretty solid. We got up to great on the downforce. Tempted to change that teeny tiny bit more because apparently we're going the right direction. We went from very poor to good. Still good on the handling. So maybe, I don't know, maybe bump it down a little bit more. And the speed is excellent on the speed balance, which we didn't change that with all these other modifications, so I think we're fine there. Tire choice is super soft. We get a little bit of a boost if we don't put that much fuel in. I think we're gonna have to come in for intermediates. So you know what? Let's drop some fuel out. I dropped that much. Session lap is 30 laps though. I don't know. I think you know what? Let's drop. It's not really gonna make that much difference. We'll go 10 laps, and then if we can put 12 and 12 in, that still gets us over the 30, hopefully. So we'll see. This is kind of pushing it a little bit, but we'll see what happens. All right, we'll go with that on him. Oh, we got 2 excellence and a grade on her. We might not even touch it. 97%. I actually think that's fine. Go a little bit lower in the speed balance. But, nah. 97% is pretty solid. Same with the super softs. And you know what? Same with you. Actually, we're going to give you a little bit more fuel. That flow, hopefully we can stagger their coming back in a little bit. All right, good stuff. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and hit continue. Let's go ahead and start you out, you know, very aggressive, as early as possible. Most of the other people are going to be aggressive as well, so I think that's going to be fine. And start the race. And again, it's alphabetical. I guess it's reverse alphabetical based on last name or first name, I should say. As you can see, MN, you know, LM, stuff like that. So, oh well. Faith is pretty far back, and so is Gomez, so it's all right. All right, we're going to start pretty aggressive, but again, our cars are not great, so go ahead and bump the speed up. Looks like everybody else, nobody else went in for intermediate, so we'll go ahead and push this. And I think we can push it to the limit quite a bit because, again, we're probably going to have to come in. It's okay if we burn some of those tires down and things like that. She's really working on the tires pretty heavily. I'm going to jump you down to push on the tires. You as well. Let's not try to overheat the tires too much. We do want to be aggressive just because we are going to replace these tires here soon, but I don't know if I'm going to go that crazy. The super overtake mode is burning a lot of fuel. But again, we are going to have to swap in. In fact, man, we may have to go all over to wets. Don't know. Alright, here comes the rain. We could pit them now. Pit somebody early. Go ahead and get the intermediates now, and then pit the other person next lap. I think that'll be fine. So let's go ahead and pit you. You're in last place, or next, you know, pretty close to last place anyway. You're further behind. Okay, let's go ahead and max out your fuel. That is going to be important. In fact, we may actually need a whole other... we're going to need another pit stop. But everybody else is going to have to get extra pit stops here anyway. So it's okay. All of our parts are fine. Pit strategy. Doesn't look like it's going to make a difference no matter what we do. So we'll just go balanced. And then, Anthony, we're going to pit you next time. It's a very, very early pit. Rain's just barely getting started. But maybe it'll help us out a little bit. Okay, strategy. We're going to go ahead and go to... go ahead and go to high and push. That's fine. Do we go ahead and pitch you now? Yes, we're going to pitch you now. Oh, we may actually need wets. Hopefully not. Hopefully these intermediates can make us last through the thing. It's just going to keep getting wetter and wetter. Oosh. We'll find out. Parts are okay. Anything here going to change? Nope. We'll just keep you on balance. Nope. Nope. Ignore you. Trust me. It's about to happen. Wow, you're burning through those tires like fast. It's going to get you back on neutral. Just enough tires pushing to keep the stuff up. In fact, we're going to go ahead and get you back on medium. Going to leave you on high and push for now. Let's get a little bit of tire temperature kind of moving that direction. You do have a chance to take over the 16th spot, so let's go ahead and do that. I actually have a couple of people winning for wets, a few people winning for intermediates. So you use a little bit less than a lap of fuel on medium, if I remember right. It's like 0.9 or something like that. Tiny bit more than a lap of fuel on high, and then a lot more on overtake. So let's go and move you back down to medium. Let's see how long we can stretch this fuel and these tires. Your tires are getting a little cold. Let's go ahead and push you up a little bit. Your tires are fine. Let's go ahead and put you back on neutral. Kind of check everybody else, see what they're doing. Yeah, everybody's doing basically the same as we're doing right now. A lot of mixes and matching. All right, Anthony. Let's get past that guy. Oh, you did. Perfect. All right, a bunch of people are pitting now. So we're going to be able to jump right up past them. It's going to be really nice. We'll keep it at this steady state, though. Wow, it is going to get really wet. Let's push it as far as we can before we have to swap to wets, though. These intermediates will be fine for now. Everybody else is going in on wets, though. Alright, your temperature is fine. Let's go ahead and drop it back down to neutral for now. It does look like it will drop back down a little bit here soon, so maybe we can stay on these intermediates. Yep, somebody crashed. We're not going to be in 20th place. A lot of people taking it easy, some people pushing. Again, anything above 16th spot, I'd be pretty happy with. 16th or higher. Let's go ahead and push you a little bit more. Tire temperature's starting to drop a bit. Same for you. Okay with the fuel. Actually, you know what? You can go a little bit heavier on the fuel. Your tire's going to run out pretty soon anyway. In fact, same for you. So both of y'all just go high on the fuel. Let's burn through that a little bit quicker. Match up with the tire usage that you're doing. In fact, I'm probably going to go overtake on you. Your tires are about to be done for. Alright, so it is going to stop raining. So staying on these inners should be fine. In fact, I don't know, if we can make another couple laps, we may be able to come back out on slicks at some point. You're chewing through your tires. Yes, you can pit for fresh tires very soon. I'd like to get you at least one more full lap. Alright, go ahead and go down to conserve, and we're going to have to pit you this next time. What do we pit you for? Rain is about to stop. By the time we get you through the pit stop, rain will be just about coming off, so we're going to have to go for, let's take the bonus performance for softs. You're still going to be coming out with a lot of rain, but it's not for very long. It's not ideal, but not much else we can do for that. 18 laps remaining. We're going to have to take quite a bit of fuel, so let's do 10. And we're going to have to pit one more time, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. Parts are okay. I don't think any of this will change. A little bit. So let's go ahead and go balanced. See if you can get all the way back around, dude. Alright, you go ahead and start going a little bit calmer on your tires. In fact, go ahead and come down and conserve. Come on, Gomez. You can do it. Alright, Anthony, you just passed the pit lap, so we're going to go ahead and put you in next time. Same thing. We're going to go ahead and put you in softs. We got the bonus to them. It's going to give you 9 laps of fuel. Actually, let's check something real quick. Will it make any longer? It will not take any longer to get the extra lap. I mean, it will slow us down a little bit, but it'll give us a little bit more cushion towards the end. Parts are okay. None of this matters to keep you on balance. It's fine. Alright, Gomez, you're going to be coming out on definitely the wrong tires, but it's okay. We'll be fine. Let's go medium. Let's go neutral. And just suck it up for another lap. Yep, somebody behind us has trouble. Car trouble. Alright, go ahead and go, let's go in high, neutral for now. Your tires are pretty cold, but we don't want to push you too much more with it still being pretty wet. I mean, we definitely should have waited another lap or two, but our tires were being chewed through so fast that I don't know if we could have. In fact, you know what, why don't both of y'all go on low for now? There's not really much pushing you're going to be able to do with the wrong set of tires. Pretty soon, though, we're about to get to the point where you'll be alright. Hey, somebody else has actually come out on softs as well. Yeah, the track is starting to dry up quite a bit. Doesn't look like any more rain coming out. Alright, let's go ahead and start pushing. Less than half on the water, so we're going to start getting into the sweet spot for these slicks here very soon. In fact, you can't even really see much water left on the track anymore. Won't be able to attack for now. Definitely a lot drier. It's a risk. I mean, we could slip and slide out. Crash. But I think we'll be alright. Just need to get the heat built up. Okay, there we go. Heat's starting to build up a bit more. A little more pushing out of you guys. We're in 16th place again. I'd be pretty happy with that, considering we have done no modifications on our parts or anything. Still got 10 laps to go. Well, she has 11, I guess. Oh, she's on 19. So 12. Never mind. Although if we've been lapped, we have to go one less lap, which is one way that you can sneak in a little bit extra pushing. Where, yeah, okay, you're not going to get first place because you've been lapped, but maybe you can sneak up to that, 13th, 12th, 11th spot, if they've been lapped as well, by really going, pretty heavy on the fuel. Because you don't need as much fuel if you're going to have to go one less lap than everybody else. Alright, your tires are really getting hot, so let's go ahead and bump you back down. Same for you. Fortunately, we are going to need one more pit stop for everybody. Well, everybody else is, really holding back. Which we could do, but we're going to have to be able to get one more pit stop and get plenty of stuff out of it. So, we might as well push while we can. Be nice to keep this 16th spot. Alright, let's go a little bit more on overtake because you are starting to catch up. You need to catch up on your tires a little bit. You're fine where you're at. In fact, why don't we go ahead and go back down to medium with you? Probably make it 2 more laps before we have to pit, maybe. Alright, let's go back down to high. You're fine. We may have to pit this one, though. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and pit. Just to play it safe. Alright, we'll go back on the softs again. Oh, although we could. There's only, what, 5 laps left? Go back on the super softs. But honestly, with our performance increase, it's probably pretty similar performance with these softs at the moment. You know what, whatever. We'll do those. And then, we need 5 laps. Go with 6. Park condition. We'll play it like it is. So if we go fast, we could potentially move up a spot. So let's do that. I guess we'll go ahead and pit you as well. You're far enough behind Anthony that you should not get stacked up in the pit lane. Oh, your parts are terrible. Let's go ahead and fix this. It's going to take a long time, but I'd rather you just not break down. It's not going to matter. We'll just keep you unbalanced. You'll definitely slow to a crawl if your gears are completely out of whack. Don't normally like to do that this late. Again, this race doesn't matter that much. It's mostly for Anthony up here who's going to hopefully hold our 16th spot. Or maybe Gomez can, I don't know, maybe somebody else will break down ahead of him that chose to go the other direction. I'm going to push both of you, just to get you some little bit of tire temperature. Oh, Anthony's up in 14th spot. Ah, there you go. Somebody didn't repair the stuff, so they broke down. So that's what happens. All right, we're going to drop you back down to neutral. Same with you. You got plenty of tire temperature. Let's go back down to medium. Let's make sure we have plenty of gas. We don't want to run out of gas here. That'd be kind of ridiculous. Plenty of gap between you and the guy behind you, so we're going to be fine. You as well. There's Pline. Actually, Gomez is 16th. That's pretty solid. Come on, Anthony, let's go. Keep your 14th. I don't think you have a chance to catch the guy in front of you, do you? You know, 21-second gap. Or I guess it's this one, 28-second gap, so not really. As long as nothing bad happens, we should be able to secure 14th and 16th, which would be pretty nice. Although this guy back here is catching up on Gomez a little bit. I think he'll be all right. Mr. Beauchamp, fastest lap, huh? Well, good for you. Actually, you're 17th spot and you got the fastest lap. All right. You gonna be able to finish? You got what? One more lap left? I think you'll be fine. It's gonna be close. It does say you're low fuel. Oh, that is a finish though. Yep, okay, because you already got laps, so you're already finished. And there goes Anthony. 14th and 16th. Like I said, I would have been happy if one person finished 16th. We got both of them above 16. It's not too bad. Wow, somebody made 5 stops. We made 3 and 3. Actually, that's pretty solid. That's actually what everybody else did. A couple of people made 4s and 5s. 5 stops and they were still ahead of us. They have a really nice car. Look at that. Inners, softs, inners. I mean, what? Okay. But yeah, no, everything looks good. I think that was actually a pretty well played car. So scrutineering, what they're doing there is they're checking to see if you have any illegal parts. Once we start getting into designing parts, you'll see what that means a little bit more. But there is a potential to have, you know, illegal parts in your car that, you know, gives you a little bit faster car, a little bit, you know, easier braking, things like that. Our plan is to not have any illegal parts for the races. That's just, we're not going to go that way. But apparently, this may have changed, but apparently if you have an illegal part that you carry into next year, even though you don't use it, you can just have it as that you've designed. It will actually help your car for the following year. So we will be probably designing the best possible parts, illegal or not, that would just sit there for next season to come into and whatnot. And I guess the way I think about that is, sure, your part might be illegal right now, but whatever, you know, research you put into that, you could then design a legal part the following year if you had more time. That's kind of how I'm making it sound normal. So we didn't hit our sponsor objective. I wasn't expecting to, which is fine. But again, 14th and 16th, I'm pretty happy with. There we are, 14 and 16, or actually 17th. How did you get 17th? Oh, that's your just overall. I don't know why are you so much lower? Whatever. And then we're actually 9th. We're actually doing better than we expected, so I'll take it. Chairman should be happy. A little bit of morale boost. A huge morale boost from Faith. This guy we don't really care about that much. Chairman is happy with us. Marketability went up. Lots of things happened. It's good stuff. We didn't really get any much boost out of our driver stats, but that's okay. We did lose money. It's kind of how it happens. Actually, losing less than a mil is actually pretty solid. I'll take that. And there we go. There's our rankings. There's actually the other two cups. We don't really care about them right now. And there's our save game. So, we will... this episode went pretty long. I knew it was going to. This very first episode, we're going to kind of get into a lot of the stuff. Hopefully some of these other ones don't go quite this long, but I expect these to go quite a bit longer than my normal episodes. So hopefully that's not too much of a problem. Really, like I said, I want to do a lot of the prep work up to a race, do a race, and that's going to be where we leave off an episode. So we'll do the prep work for the next race after this. I do appreciate you watching, and hopefully everybody likes this new series. If you do, giving me a thumbs up will help me know that. It's the only way I know, or give me a comment, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to play through it because I enjoy this game, and hopefully you do too. Thank you, and goodbye.